What's up, guys? I'm Mike, and this is 10 ways that 28 years later expanded the lore of the infected in some pretty awesome and intriguing ways. Now, there will be spoilers in this video, so if you haven't seen 28 years later, do not watch this. I totally recommend seeing it. I loathe the last 5 minutes of it. I hate it. I want to punt it into an inferno of fuck. However, every minute of the film before that, in my opinion, was a masterpiece. I loved it. So it is what it is. I made a whole video talking about that and ranting about the end of it and my review for the original one. And we are live, by the way, tonight with our spoiler party. So come join us tonight in the live stream and let's yell at each other about how we feel about all the spoilers. But for now, let's get into the ways that this movie changed the infected forever and always and forever. Number one, some of them become alphas with huge dicks.
Oh, your poor wife.
You really should stop.
Infected Pringles can-sized dongs, floating around and about the cabin, slapping all over the screen. Jesus, they're scary. The rage virus worked almost as a steroid in their body, getting them jacked and jacked. They're not just big as hell, they're able to take extreme damage. They mentioned that one of them took 12 arrows before he would be put down. When someone is able to stop one of these in this movie, it takes a formidable force to get them to do so. They are fast, and they're even smarter than the others. They hunt livestock for the other infected and help feed them, and in turn, send the other infected out to do their bidding at times. You'll see the infected hanging back, not getting involved in the fighting and whatnot, and just kind of watching, and you imagine directing what's going on. They also remember people, they stalk their prey, and again are fast and scary as hell. That scene on the Rainbow Bridge, dude, that was so scary and intense and fucking awesome. The alphas are probably the biggest and coolest addition to the 28 Days Later franchise lore so far. But there's a lot more. Number two, there's a new version of them, of the infected, as well, that's on the other end of the spectrum. I like to call them tum-tums. Little tum-tums is what they are. And these things, they look so weird. They crawl around on the floor like a big fat Roomba. Like an insect, like a fat insect Roomba. Just crawling all over the floor. Gross. And they don't really even stand up much, but they rather just crawl around and they eat the insects of the world. The biggest question here is, like, that's unexplained, is how'd they get fat? Why are these roly-polies so fat, these tum-tums? And the only guess I can think to come up with is that without humans around in this area, you see the big herds of all the deer and stuff like that that are kind of run wild. And I think that it's the same thing maybe with insects. There's just so many insects that these roly-polies don't want to get up and do other stuff, so they just eat those insects nonstop, and that's how they got fat. I don't really understand how that works, and maybe that's a terrible scientific explanation, but I don't... You know, maybe they just ran out of Ozempic. Now, maybe these are the counter to the alpha gened things. Maybe these have the beta gene, and instead of getting huge and jacked, the steroid makes them fat and weird looking. But it's kind of cool, right? I love the idea that we now have different levels and classifications of the infected. It's pretty fucking dope expansion of the lore. Sorry, my dishwasher beeped in there, and I was like, what is it? Is it a bomb? Number three, they clearly did not and will not starve to death. Though some of them may have. You hear in the other movies multiple references to, you know, we're going to wait them out, we're going to let them starve to death. Clearly that didn't happen because they not only survived over these past 28 years, but they have grown into different factions and grown in so many ways. But I bet some of them definitely did starve to death, maybe the weaker ones or whatever, because you do see the Cillian Murphy zombie here, which, by the way, I bet he feels like fucking shit about himself that everybody thought that was him. Like, yeah, that's definitely, I've seen him with the shirt off at the beach. That's him. Poor handsome fucking skinny bastard. Clearly, this is an emancipated, you know, infected, but we know that the way for these to get rid of these things is not for them to just starve and die off. They have evolved, Jim. Number four, they bathe now. And it's fucking hilarious, dude, because they just sit in puddles of water like, the camera goes by them on this hillside, and they're just sitting in like still water. And some of them, they can't help but, you know, do like the, so they're just like facing the water like, water, and just slapping water on themselves, and it's fucking funny. I mean, you can see that they're cleaner for sure, that they have some sense of hygiene. Definitely not toothpaste yet. We haven't crossed that bridge, but yeah, they bathe now. They wash their cracks with rage. Number five, they be fucking too. Maybe that's why they started bathing, because infected Sheila was like, dog, you stank.
But I got some stink dick. Yo, my dick stinks.
And we know that because there's a pregnant lady who has a goddamn baby in the movie. And we'll get to that in a second, but that's how we know they be fucking. And these things be fucking. That would be the funniest sex that you could ever see in your entire life. Could you imagine just two of them just like... What does that look like? What does it look like? I have to know. I have got to see those deleted scenes. That'd be the most frightening fucking thing. You ever seen cats fuck? That's haunting. Don't ever do it. I mean, not that you can like go to a... Why would you? You're sick. Stop. I have been unfortunate to see it happen. And it's... And number 6, they have familial units now. They do move in herds. You see it in the trailer, and you'll see the alpha standing out there, and then his minions coming out like Age of Aquarius, running through the fields. But those, I don't know if those are specifically the families, but you do get these familial units, the tum-tums early in the film. It seemed like that was a family that was moving slowly throughout the woods together. And obviously, when the lady has the baby in the train, the dad, the alpha, comes to see what's going on, with his mom and his kid. Which leads us to number 7, and that's that they can apparently birth babies that are not infected. I don't know if this scientifically makes any sense at all, okay? But I guess what we're led to believe and understand is that maybe the amniotic sac or the placenta or something, it's protected the baby so that the blood doesn't actually get in the baby's mouth or doesn't get it infected by it, so it's not a genetic thing. Again, I don't know if scientifically that checks out or not. It doesn't really seem like it would. It seems like that baby would definitely get some blood in its mouth coming literally outside of the person, And another tiny little thing that we learn here too is that when the infected is in enough pain, seemingly it snaps him out of the rage for a second, because when that woman stupidly, I mean fucking dumbly, goes and high five, power fives the lady having the goddamn baby, the infected having a baby, they lock fingers like they're about to, throw down at WrestleMania, and she poops a baby out of her, which was disgusting. I didn't want to see that. That was really gross. But she calms down for a second, and the rage leaves her as she poops out this baby. And because we all know babies come from butts. So the butt baby comes out, but then immediately the rage comes back to her. That's just an interesting little tidbit about them that, who knows, maybe it gets used in the future to stop them. And speaking of stopping them, we also learn that they are not impervious to Western drugs, because when Ralph Fiennes' character shows up, he shoots that arrow through him, or he's got a little pea shooter because he's out there just doing pea shoot stuff in the woods. He shoots him full of morphine, and it halts Jason Momoa infected in his tracks. Giant dong just at a standstill for sure. Now, when he wakes up and comes out of this zone, he's right back to it and remembers where he is and goes after him for revenge. Just another sign that they remember things now and whatnot. But no, we can stop them with medicine, which is a new fact that we learned about them. And then finally, the last thing, and let me know below, and Monday night when we talk about it together, if they move the lore forward in any ways that I haven't mentioned here. But finally, they have some sort of cronut. They have some sort of connection to these crows. Like, I don't know what it is specifically. The crows, I feel like that thread, unless David Gordon Green's directing this, has got to come into play at some point, right? Like, there's something to these crows and the infected. There has to be. I think this movie solidified that because they were in there throughout. But I just know that the wildlife at some point is going to come into play here, and I think specifically the crows. So that is 10 things that move the lore forward of The Infected in the 28 Days Later franchise. And guys, check out the review, check out the live stream, check out all the videos we're doing about this, because it's a fascinating fucking movie and there's so much to talk about. And god damn it, that's why we love movies, right? Not that last 5 minutes though. Fuck my face with an aardvark. I love your fucking faces. I hope you guys have an amazing day.